So you guys, hey guys, I'm gonna invite you to this Signal chat. Now, don't worry. We're only going to discuss really highly confidential stuff about customers and ourselves. Oh shit! I started the recording. Oh, hey guys, welcome to the Unhinged Cybersecurity Podcast. I'm Chris. I'm here with Bob and Matt, and we're gonna have some fun today. Oh, we're gonna have some fun today. Why does this seem like every day is a cybersecurity nightmare?
That is.
But more so. I mean, we joke about Signal here, but I mean, I see it like between Doge and like the access to like private data and stuff like that people are kind of glossing over and not taking seriously. But then you have the Signal thing, right? And it's like, this is not good for anybody.
No. You know,
and
how many people even knew what Signal was before this started?
How many get the joke?
That's fair too. I mean, I don't know. It's covered. It's everywhere. So I guess if you watch the news, how would you heard of Signal?
So it's good press for Signal.
Oh, good or bad press.
It's press.
the hackers using QR codes to steal access to Signal accounts is probably not the move, but you know, here we are. But hey, we're talking about shadow IT today, and Signal is a perfect example of shadow IT.
Absolutely.
Now, what is shadow IT, Bob?
Shadow IT is all those applications that your employees are using because they think they can make work be a little faster, things are a little simpler. They just download them, use them. And it could be Dropbox, it could be personal Dropbox accounts, it could be Signal, it could be WhatsApp, you know, or their personal Google Drives. You know, all that data is just sitting out there. Who knows where that company data is? And you know, back to Signal is like, you know, what data is really sitting out there on Signal servers right now? Nobody knows.
Bombing plans for Yemen?
You know, at least the timeline anyway.
Well, they had what was happening. Everybody said that. I mean, they're going through the House and Senate stuff right now, but like, I don't think anybody should be denying that was top secret stuff that should never been on a public application. Also, a good example here is they were using personal phones to do this because you couldn't even access Signal from a government phone, or you shouldn't be able to. So now you were taking government information like that and putting it outside of that, which violates the Federal Records Act, because that was also set to, I think I saw in one of the screenshots was set to auto delete in a week. So now you violated the Federal Records Act.
That's bad. Okay.
You're required to the preservation of government records, including all communications related to official duties. We can talk about the Espionage Act. There's a disclosure of classified information. There's a U.S. code for that. But like, this is like serious legal stuff. You know, not let them deal with that. But like, this is the stuff that like now you take that and you look at like from an organizational standpoint. What about AI? We didn't even touch on AI. Like when you take the data and you put it in AI, how many different AI tools are out there right now? It's ridiculous. Like you can Google AI, whatever, right? And find however many AI tools. So have you run across this every day, right? Not every day, but like quite often.
Just using something.
People are just using,
absolutely.
One of the things I've noticed in small businesses is the outright refusal, for whatever reason, to have standards for the applications they're using in the business. Have you noticed that?
Yes. You know, they just want to get the work done. They say, hey, it's just going to happen. And the government had standards too, and that didn't seem to help.
Well, I mean, having policies, you have to hold people accountable to following said policies. So if you don't hold them accountable, they're just going to keep doing it. Kids are like that, right? If you have a policy for a child and the child just breaks the policy and there's no consequence, right, for doing it, what are they going to do? They're just going to keep doing it.
Sure.
Employees do the same thing. Government officials apparently do the same thing. So until we hold people accountable, there's very little that's really going to happen there. But from a business standpoint, right, that's one of the things. Let's see, you said Dropbox. That's a good example. What if it's a personal Dropbox?
You know, God knows what company information's out there, and when that employee leaves, the business has no right to touch that mailbox and ask for it back. from Dropbox anyway. They can ask the employee.
So
I've seen companies use Gmail accounts that they have no control over. So when somebody leaves, they take that with them.
Yeah.
This is stuff that customers are emailing.
Customer lists, financials, depending on what it is. Maybe it's a small nonprofit and they're using Gmail accounts and they're getting donor information over that Gmail account. It's crazy.
What if they're using applications to bypass your controls, like your firewall, like your web filtering and stuff like that? And maybe they're running, I may or may not have allegedly worked for a company where somebody set up a Bitcoin operation. Inside
of mining Bitcoin on the machine.
They're allegedly mining Bitcoin on the company, and they were using VPN to bypass the security filtering in the organization to do the mining. So,
let's see. I actually know somebody that used to work at a government facility, and those machines were kind of locked down. But
you can plug in something to an Ethernet cable that nobody's paying attention to,
or connect to random ports to try and log in stuff at home.
Well, you're just IT. The guy that I'm talking about was in IT. But I think the personal stuff you have in your business, the private stuff you have in your business, right? You don't want people just putting that into any old application, right? Whether it's AI, whether it's Dropbox, whether it's whatever. I had a CFO at a company decide to use his personal Comcast account.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he downloaded a PDF and then tried to open PDF, which then executed ransomware. Luckily, it was stopped. But again, it was personal. It was him doing something from a personal account. It's not quite shadow IT because it's not using an application, but like, you get the point. Is like anytime somebody brings personal stuff in, it's bringing risk to the business, and that impact can be huge.
It's seeing that stuff on Signal that we did see.
Yeah.
How did they transfer it between secure systems and his phone? It sounds like he's probably got other apps on his phone to allow him to cut and paste.
One of the people was in Russia on a personal phone.
Yeah, I know.
In that Signal. Yeah. So. That's a whole other thing. And there is a real vulnerability for Signal where they're taking a QR code and able to gain access to it. They're installing malware on some of these phones. Again, a personal device, like you don't know what the person's doing on that. I mean, clearly you know what they were doing on it, but like outside of just that, there's more to it, right? So the government phones are locked down. There's reason their SCIFs are sort of top secret clearance stuff. I mean, we need oversight and accountability at the government level and in our businesses, right? So one of the things I talk to people about is like, you really need to have a list of applications that are approved so we can at least monitor for other applications.
Yeah. People, some of these applications could be downloaded and used by the bad guys to exfiltrate the data. You set it up, you set a little thing, and it's just quietly syncing files. We see it as a file sync. Oh, they're now using Team Sync.
That's where I feel like we're always, as security guys, trying to get people to understand there needs to be some standard of control and some standard of access and manage devices, or you get this, and this is bad.
Yeah. And you got to audit it too. Right.
There's got to be checks and balances. Can't set it or forget it. With this one, though, I mean, it's, I know the whole Hillary email thing when a lot of classified stuff was like supposed to be within the government system and she had her own mail server, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not getting into the politics on that at all. But this is like such a bigger version of that because the technology is not just email anymore. There's so many other, connections and things and ways this stuff can get out.
And that was a private server inside it. Not to defend it. It was stupid either way, but it was a private server. This is guys using a public application
with classified.
And people argue, well, it's end-to-end encrypted until you apparently invite somebody to the chat that just gets an invite, right? Somebody gets access to it for whatever reason. However that happened, it doesn't really matter. You're violating protocol by doing that. And same thing with like the tools that we use. Like we've seen people, because they wouldn't block like email and stuff like that. We've seen people just straight up one person got terminated and they let them go back to their desk and didn't tell us right away. We go to disable their account and log them off, and the person's sitting there drag and dropping stuff into a personal Gmail account. And they've been doing that for like 2 hours before we were told. Like, because they wouldn't allow us to block it. And then they didn't notify us like they're supposed to from the policy, and the person just sat there for 2 hours. Like,
thank you very much.
Yeah, this is like drawings and designs and stuff like that were like critical to the business, and this person just dropping them off in their Gmail. So, yeah, I think, and when does legal liability come into this, right? If you're dealing with like, let's say you have a contract with I don't know, let's say you're a lawyer actually, or law firm or something like that, and it's personal files for a person, for an injury claim, and that stuff gets taken off site. When I have a breach notification situation in your hands, could be HIPAA, it could be, we don't really deal with GDPR here unless you're dealing with like, EU stuff, but there's just so many things you can violate. Could be just personal identifiable information being dropped out the back door. So, not to mention ransomware can be brought into it too. What if somebody's just downloading files and all of a sudden they just get a piece of malware like ransomware and it drops on your network? Just because they were trying to do it. Oh, I got one. You see the guy that got fired from Disney for trying to download an AI application?
No.
Yeah. He got what?
Does it draw Mickey Mouse?
No, he was
no, the AI.
Yeah, he tried to download an AI tool and he ended up getting fired from it. And they were able to steal credentials, and they got into the internal Slack of Disney and stole information. It was like a huge data dump. This guy got fired not very long ago. It kind of ruined his life. Because they also stole his credit card numbers, they racked up bills, they leaked his account logins, financial details, social security number, all this stuff. They even accessed the Ring cameras in his house.
Oh no.
Yeah, and he ended up getting fired from Disney because of it. And then now he's filing I think he filed like a wrongful termination complaint. But again, he just went to download a tool he thought was an AI tool, and it ended up being malware.
Yeah, he's trying to help.
We see things like that all the time with people saying, "Well, I'm going to save the company money, or I want to get this version of Adobe or PowerPoint or anything," and they go to God knows where websites, and they've already been hacked.
Yeah, I mean that's how I get all my software. But
you get some good stuff that way. Huh?
Jeez, you guys scare me.
I only use Yandex, and if anybody at home decides to look that up, have fun. Anyway, I think it's a pretty decent discussion. Have any questions, guys? Let us know. We can dig a little deeper into it, but just realize that it's really it's about your business, it's about the data in your business. If people just use unauthorized tools in the business, even if it does save you money, it may cost you in the end. Especially if you have some sort of data leakage, or somebody unfortunately downloads ransomware or something like that. So, you guys any parting thoughts?
At this point, let's see what we can do next week. But everyone remember, if the White House can make mistakes like this, what can happen in your business?
A good way to end this. Also, Matt, I can hear your dog twice, so that's amazing.
Sorry, he's very excited. I have not played with him enough today.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's getting warm out today, so I got to go play with my dog too. But no,
that's what's about to happen. Normally, I have him at the office all day, but I have meetings all day, so he's been cooped up without me. So
we'll have to do our dogs on one of these. Like, you guys never see Riley, but there you go.
He's very upside down dog.
Great. I'm gonna bring the trio of beagles in here for the show, and no one will hear anything.
I'm gonna mute. Sorry.
Later,
that'll be 12 minutes of us just with dogs barking. That'll be great. So, all right. See you guys next week.